West. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody. Welcome to the Damu Kiwe Conversations. Salute to the brother Rocky. Just came in on Clubhouse. Wasn't nobody on Clubhouse. That's okay. Big LA. Salute to you too, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna hold it down on Clubhouse. I know we ain't been doing Clubhouse room. Clubhouse don't pay. And we want to get everybody off of Clubhouse and on to our Instagram, on to our Twitch, our Facebook, our IG, because as soon as we drop our app, we gonna want to do it over there. P White, UK, BTB TV General, G Unit, Bangle Smurf, seeking asylum in a hotel in London. Hey man, Bangle Smurf said the game wasn't even there when they did that. Hit that like button on y'all way in too. I see y'all slow getting up in here. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Bless, what up, King? Invite Bless up in here. So everybody that's on IG, you can go on YouTube at Active Chucks. Make sure you subscribe over there. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button on your way in. And on Twitch, y'all do the same, man. You know what I'm saying? I see it's slow. That's cool. Salute to the chat. I know we was a little bit early, but that's cool. Beautiful black lady. I still ain't seen your IG, beautiful black lady. I was looking, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't see it. Selena, the beautiful Selena, say salute to the chat. Welcome to Damu and Kiwe Conversations. Make sure you hit the like button as you enter and listen to the content. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. Selena, appreciate your attendance. Early, y'all hit that like button on y'all way in. Ricky! Salute Deuce. Yeah. Salute Damu and Kiwe fam in the chat. Shout out to the Blue Wrench Mob. You know what I'm saying? It's taking a few minutes. So while we in here waiting on that, let's get into some of this music, man. Let's get into some of this music, man. You know what I'm saying? It's some nasty shit going on. See Breezy. Let's see if they let us bang this real quick. Makita, what up? Salute. Shout out to all the fam that's on Clubhouse. Hold on, let me play this for y'all. We'll start it over. Hit that like button. Turn up. Y'all act like y'all ain't got no energy. Rest in peace, DJ Official. Let's go. West Coast, stand up. Chris Brown, Joe Moses. Don't try to put y'all up on nothing. Oh, y'all can't even hear it.
Fresh out, you the only one was waiting on me. Yeah, this folk came home, you never changed.
My bad.
Like JMC.
Joe Moses, Chris Brown. Let's go.
Shit, bitch, we all you need.
DJ Official.
I mean, like, for real.
St. Louis.
Took a trip to my enemies to fuck that. And every time I went raw, I made her fuck back. Got a baby by the same nigga hating on me. Fresh out, you the only one was waiting on me. If folk came home, you never changed on me. And every now and then I heard she dead a lame on me. Cop the Rory like Tiger did for Kylie. And every time I hit the city, she a ride it. Made niggas only supposed to fuck with made hoes. I give a shout out to my exes, I done made hoes. World Star Playhouse, I done slay hoes. I seen a few of my niggas, how the game goes. Lord knows it get wet when the time right. Time for it, Times Square with a good night. Double R Rolex for the good price. And when her ass do the splits with a good sight.
Let me see you rock this body back and forth. You gon' get this dick, I'ma give you what you asking for. I heard she got that good I'ma go down, I'ma eat that good pussy. I'ma make that kitty cry. Baby, I ain't tryna hurt your body. I just wanna see you work your body. Down up, back it. I take my bitches to the trap house. She smoke weed, hella tatted with her ass out. This codeine about to make a nigga black out. Red guts in the rafe, I'm finna mash out. Blood the nerve of these niggas, they ain't from my set. Could give a fuck about a hater, they don't write my checks. It's hard to make a decision, got bitches on top of bitches. Know I be flipping them pigeons, give her the D like it's Michigan. Pussy poppin', she drop it down. Then she land on the dick. I'm Steph Curry with your bitch, and I'll be damned if I miss. All the Molly in my cup, got me up, babe. I'm turning up in this place tonight. We on, babe. You know you can't play a playoffs party. Baby, show you right. Let me see you rock that body back and forth. You gon' get this dick, I'ma give you what you asking for. Heard she got that good pussy. I'ma go down, I'ma eat that good pussy. I'ma make that kitty cry. Baby, I ain't tryna hurt your body. I just wanna see you work your body. Down up, back it. Down up.
Hashtag Free C Breezy in the chat. Hashtag Free C Breezy in the chat, man. It's nasty work. We gonna get into the content. Let me see how many hold on. Let's see how many likes we got. We ain't got enough likes to even start the content. We ain't even gonna have this conversation. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and let's get them likes up and then we'll get into the content. I mean, I'm just chilling. I got the AC on. It's hot as a motherfucker with my Snoop Dogg shirt on, red and blue. This is the Damu Kiwe conversations, man. You know what I'm saying? At least y'all can do let me lace my chucks. Renegade Duchess, what up? Bo Monty, what up at work, bro? But salute to the house, kings and queens. Hey, man, we appreciate you tuning in with us, Bo Monty. You know what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. Bro, Monty, the bro. About to get active in them chucks. Heidi B, what up? Hit that like button if y'all just coming in. I know we opened up a little early because I really wanted y'all to be here by the time we did start. And I knew that y'all been a little sluggish. Damn, I'm going to need them out. I got tickets for September, but even more so, Free C Breezy. So you just worried about your ticket. And the crazy part, I talked to my boy. Matter of fact, let me get to this real quick. Since we on this, we going to go ahead and knock this real quick. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my guys, man. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to him today. He OHB, which is Chris Brown crew. Chris Brown. Loverboy TJ. It should pop right up. Well, you got the one with Ray J. No, we want to go to Crisscross. So let's go to this one. Shout out to C Breezy, original homeboys, OHB, the whole clique, Loverboy, TJ Young, Black, everybody else that's down with the OHB crew. Y'all already know what it is, Active Chucks, man. It's nothing but love. But yeah, man, they done got C Breezy, man, up in London. So we gonna get into this. Hit that like button, share, tell a friend. We didn't share the live or nothing. People just gotta put on their notifications because when we go. Fuck the numbers. We ain't doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? We go when we go. You feel me? Let's get into this real quick. Boom. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm going to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, let's go here. Boom. We got the content. Let's go.
The American R&B singer Chris Brown has appeared in court today, charged with grievous bodily harm with intent in connection with an alleged assault at a nightclub in London 2 years ago. Our reporter Alison Freeman is at Manchester Magistrates Court. Alison, what more can you tell us about this case?
I'm doing better.
Well, Ben, as you can imagine, there has been quite a lot of media interest in the appearance of this very high-profile R&B star here at Manchester Magistrates Court this morning. The press benches were full and an overflow room had to be set up within the court for reporters and for fans. When Chris Brown appeared in the dock just after 12:15, he was wearing a black T-shirt and black tracksuit bottoms, and he spoke only to confirm his name, date of birth and address during the hearing, which lasted about 40 minutes. Now, Mr. Brown, who is 36, is charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent at a nightclub in London in February 2023. It's understood that he arrived by private jet to Manchester Airport on Wednesday. He was then arrested early yesterday morning. He is currently on tour and is scheduled to play several dates across the UK over the next couple of months, 3 of those here in Manchester next month. The singer did not enter a plea today, and he was remanded in custody until his next appearance at Southwark Crown Court on the 13th of June. Ben.
Okay, Alison, thank you very much. The American.
So he gonna be in there. First of all, let's cover everything, right? So he out in London. This all derives from a case in London, and he won't go back to court until June. Nigga, my AdSense check don't come to the 20-something. Nigga, that mean that nigga waiting for that rent on the 1st and still got some weeks and some days. You know what I'm saying? They hold him up in there. They gonna milk this shit. Hey, look, man, them Europeans I don't know if they trying to make an example out of C Breezy. If they want to act like, you know what I'm saying, set example that they hard on crime. If anyone in the chat ever watched the Netflix series Top Boy, Chris Brown got an identical twin on that show. I don't know nothing about that. Wow, look at good, beautiful. No more concerts in London ever. 2 years later. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. But now, the allegations is some serious allegations if you believe that is true. But he still should have had a bail hearing. But what they saying is the nigga already had absconded. So that's why he didn't just have a bail hearing that easy. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into the article. Chris Brown remanded in custody over alleged club attack. R&B singer Chris Brown has been remanded in custody after appearing in court charged over an alleged bottle attack at a London nightclub. The American singer was arrested at Salford's Laurie Hotel on Thursday and later charged over the alleged assault, which is said to have happened at the TAPECLUB in London's Mayfair in 2023. Brown, 36, is alleged to have used a bottle to cause grievous bodily harm to music producer Abe Dial. The singer was in Manchester ahead of his planned tour of the UK in June and July, with dates at the city's Co-op Live Arena in Manchester and the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. During the hearing, Brown, who was wearing black tracksuit bottoms and a plain T-shirt, spoke to confirm his full name as Christopher Maurice Brown and date of birth. Fans outside court, when asked to confirm his address, he said the Lowry Hotel. District Judge Joanne Hurst told Brown the case will be moved to Southwark Crown Court in London, with the next hearing to be held on June 13th. Damn. She said the nature of the offense of grievous bodily injury was too serious to be dealt with by a magistrate's court. Brown was scheduled to perform in Amsterdam on June 8th before heading to Germany, then embarking on the UK dates. Fans gathered outside Manchester's Magistrates Court ahead of the hearing. One fan who lives in Manchester told the BBC she had canceled her plans so she could spend the day outside court. Candy, 35, says she has followed the star since she was 14, and when she heard the news of his arrest, she could not sleep. I'm just here to support him, she said. I love his music, his voice. Even my children are fans now. Yeah, man. Generational talent. One of the greatest voice of his generation, if not the greatest voice of his generation. One of the greatest dancers of his generation. C Breezy is what you call a mega pop star. You know what I'm saying? A superstar at that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it is. It's a series that takes place in London. Some dope boys at war over the drug trade and the project. Exactly, Selena, motherfuckers don't go over there anymore. Hey, now I understand why Snoop be wanting like $7 million to even jump on a plane and do shows over there. Them Europeans be tripping on Americans, bro. They politicking. Of course, it's 2 years later. He hasn't been in London since 2023. Oh, Kenny D, happy that nigga there. That nigga, why you up on Breezy like that? Yeah, but so he's going to be missing some of his tour dates. That's going to be nasty work. You know what I'm saying? People, 3 sold out shows, right? So that we know about, at least 3 sold out shows he'll be missing. This is what my boy told me today, right? All right, let's get to this. Yael. Salute, Yael. Salute, salute, salute.
Salute, brother. Salute. Salute to the chat. Y'all know that's where it's at. We on Clubhouse with it?
Yes, sir.
Man, salute to everybody on Clubhouse, man. If you on Clubhouse right now, salute to the goo. If you on stage, man, make sure you share the room 3 times so in that hallway we can get our shine, man. Salute to the mods, man. Salute to everybody on the YouTube live right now in the chat. Y'all know that's where it's at. Salute to the chat. Salute to the Blue Wrench mob that's on their job, and salute to the friends that tapped in because of a friend. And if you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this content. Y'all see the title, Damu Kiwe Conversation, Chris Brown, Assault. Y'all know what it is, man. You sitting with Deuce M's, the Don, Yael, the Kiwe pop star, bringing y'all the receipts, the 2 authentic voices of the culture and the West Coast. Damu Kiwe Conversations.
Selena said, and it's always the Americans of color, but not them lighter shades. I'm just saying, I said it. Yeah, they tripping about C Breezy. Hey, look. Frank Nitty, salute, man. I'm quite sure Yael sent his too. Cameron, what up? Happy Friday, everybody. Thank God it's Friday. I'm still working Saturday and Sunday. We got to make some money around this funky joint. And I'm going to be going live, too. So y'all stay tuned for that. Big T, salute. You know what I'm saying? So check this out, though. Lena Love says, salute, Yael. You know, Lena Love a looker, man. She's not a cooker. She's a looker.
Salute, salute.
So Chris Brown reportedly charged and staying in United Kingdom custody. According to reports, Chris Brown will remain in hitting a music producer with a tequila bottle in 2023. A judge ruled he will stay detained until his next court appearance on June 13 at London's Southwark Crown Court. The Crown Court. And we've been having a whole lot of 100 EBT people pulling up on what you call it. Shout out G's for 100 EBT. You got my dick in your mouth, caller. You want to say what? So you came all the way over here to talk tough on the internet? Oh yeah, when you 100 EBT, we flame your bitch ass up anyway. Hey, listen, you can't get us to threaten you or do no weird ass shit like that. All you niggas over there, the police in the first place. You should feel honored to even be on the stage with a real nigga. Nigga, do you smell how that smell? Nigga, that's how real niggas smell. Hold on. Sit down there and think about your committing offense first, little bitch ass nigga. You got a real nigga talking to you, nigga. I told you, inhale it. It might be a long time before you get a sick smell like this. In fact, you just turned me up. Hey, Yael, I don't think that nigga knew, bro.
Yeah, man. The niggas a goof.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta let them know how it feels to be in the presence of a real nigga. You know, they've been over there around that fake shit so long that they wouldn't be able to differentiate the two. JB said, what if we made our music and overall culture exclusive instead of inclusive? Hey, JB, I think we should do a whole live and room on Clubhouse with that being the title. Miss Keita to you. Salute. Blue Hearts. They enslaved us. They're trying to put him in his place. Hey, Miss Keita to you. Salute to you. And we appreciate that feedback. Cameron said, I need a weekend job. Hey, man, any job is a good problem to have, you know, especially in this economy. You know what I'm saying? All right, that was my job there. What you laughing for, Lenny? Lenny laughing like a mug. Oh, we done lost Yael. He back on the ship. They want to touch his money. Hey, Kitty. Yeah, they playing with his money. He got these shows coming up. But hey, one thing for sure, stop talking about my daddy whack, weirdo. Not EBT, weirdo. Selena, they literally make trillions off of us without us. Scale would for show tip. Hey, nah, I think that's a good topic. I'm gonna write that down. What if we made our culture inclusive and exclusive instead of inclusive? What if we made our culture exclusive as opposed to inclusive? Oh man, exclusive mean that the price of the commodity go up. You know what I'm saying? You are not wrong, JB. All around show 100. The police for real. Yeah, y'all know them dudes, the police. And I know we came over here today for the Sea Breezy. We ran the content. That was all we was doing. It was gonna be short, but this dude got me pumped up. Big Marcus, salute. You know what I'm saying? Steffi Weffy. Oh, look, they love that song once I played that. Mike B. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody that's on Clubhouse. Salute to everybody that's on IG. Keith McCulley, Fidus, what up? Bird say Damu Kiwe, B's and C's, Dukes and Ya. The chat, Miles, what's cracking? Salute, strong. Top boys, Sully and Deshane moving that food, getting them peas. Facts, I don't do the internet social media shit, but I definitely want to speak on it. Yeah, brother, if that one, because you brought it up, it's kind of like when you bring the paperwork up on somebody, you got to stand on it to handle the business. Since you brought it up, you got to stand on it and handle the business. And we'll just play devil's advocate to get everybody inclusive. We could get some polls going to see who's leaning towards this side, pros and cons and different things. That's a hell of a conversation to start. And it's one that I believe our community needs to have. But right now, we finna have Belina Gomez copyright our culture. Yeah, you got to take the W off, though. You know what I'm saying? That's how you spell Reggie Wright Jr. name. Copyright is without the W, Keith. Sure does, because it becomes hard to access and raises the revenue. Anyways, let me stop my finance mind start. Nah, we gonna get that going. All around show, Baby E, Do Sims, let's go. Run that whack content, expose that Crocker. Yeah, he's a house nigga. He's definitely a crack. He's the nigga that was gonna have the thing and do a nigga in. He was the one gonna administer the beating, and when they buck break the biggest, most rebellious on the plantation. But look, enough of that. We got the content. So, shout out to my boy Scandalous Los Angeles TV. If y'all haven't checked this one out, oh, y'all need to pay attention to this one. Scandalous on his bullshit right now. He locked like a pit bull, nigga. Right now, that nigga on CS2 back helmet. Shout out to the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Whack 100 lying about being CS2 back. We finna get into this content. Hold on. Let's go ahead and do this real quick.
We expose the exposers. This guy CS2 back can't leave well enough alone, y'all. He went on Clubhouse yesterday and decided to lie about being CS2 back again. As usual, whenever Porky tries to defend himself about being an informant, he only ends up telling on himself. If my memory serves me correctly, CS2 is supposed to be suing World Star and Mark Stevens. Funny, because we haven't heard a word about those lawsuits since the day Porky mentioned them.
Oh yeah, the latest is that CS2 back said he's suing me and Scandalous Los Angeles TV too. I don't know how true it is. I invite the opportunity to expose him on a public platform in a court of law. Ain't gonna be none of that over talking. Those documents will stand on record as fact. So
I'm suing you. Shut the fuck up. I'm suing you. I'm getting my
hey, check this out, CS2.
$5 million.
You said you was gonna sue Mark Stevens a long time ago. You ain't did it. What's up with that?
Hey, listen. Hey, Mark, no. Mark tried to set the three-way up. But after
you know, anything you say can and will be used against you, right?
It's already done. You niggas think y'all smart. I outwitted the winners. I'm a winger.
You's a winger?
Winger.
Go back to the video. This nigga y'all ignorant.
Yeah, motherfucker like fucking, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, me too.
Me Too movement. And Whack, I was saying that same shit. Like when they accusing you of we know you're not a rapper, they want to listen to the lie. That, oh, he Whack is this.
I don't. But see, that's what I'm saying. I don't entertain it because I know it ain't real. So anytime, see, when I expose that it's a rat, it just takes me about the time it takes me to read it. I don't have to convince nobody because it's right there. They've been trying to convince for 2-3 years because they ain't got no paperwork. They got my name on it that say it's me, and say I got it. That even told me I've been arrested. Said I got arrested with the Main Street. I ain't for no motherfucking Main Street. So they change your whole.
The crazy shit is CS2 back did have very little information at identifying Main Street. So CS2 back wasn't from Main Street. But as you were.
But that's
they changed. They didn't change my whole. No, the crazy part about it is what's that blogger nigga from Baltimore? He went and pulled the paperwork himself. When he pulls the paperwork, it ain't even a CS2 back in the real paperwork
at all.
So they made that up.
They added that to it.
They added it in there.
So they made that up.
They added that to it.
They added it in there.
So Porky just admitted that the wiretap transcripts were not made up. His only accusation is that someone added the name back to it. Funny, because when Brick confronted Porky about the work, Porky was throwing the back name around without a care in the world. Never ever did he say the paperwork was fake, or that the name back was added to it. He only said that his moniker Whack was not in the paperwork, and we all know that's a lie.
Hey, bro, I'm just saying. You put that on 6-0, that name back.
And then it says whack.
Back.
Then it says whack in the same time.
And no, it don't.
No, it don't. No,
it don't. You put that on 6-0, that name back.
And then it says whack in the same time.
And no, it don't.
No, it don't. No,
it don't.
You guys already heard Porky admit that this paperwork was not made up. He only accused us of adding back to the paperwork. Enough time has passed since Deuce M's dropped the CS2 back paperwork, and everybody has had more than enough time to see Cash Jones's moniker, Whack, in the paperwork. As of today, Porky hasn't accused anyone of falsely putting his real name in the paperwork, and he already told us paperwork was not made up. So the next time you run into Porky, ask him this: why is your name Whack in this wiretap transcript? And why did you and your pet, pedophile beast, lie to everybody on Clubhouse and say that the paperwork did not have the name Whack in it? Remember, guys, this is the lie that he was telling before we spoke to Greg Kading. After we put the discussion we had with Greg online, Porky decided to change his lie and said made some fake work and added some back shit.
These winning credits, some fake work, and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about that shit. These winning credits, some fake work, and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about that shit.
Back, you whack.
Of course,
Eat a bush. Yes, it do.
No, it don't.
You said
No, it
I
don't.
ain't fucking with the whack.
Who ain't fucking with Whack? Who ain't fucking with Whack? Who ain't fucking with Whack? What are you talking about? That's what Del Dog said. That's what Del Dog said. That's what Del Dog said.
So again, there goes Porky telling on himself. Del Dog did say he ain't fucking with Whack, and that's exactly what the transcripts say Del Dog said about the mystery man CS2 back.
That's what Del Dog said.
Listen, guys, I have to make sure that you fully understand what Porky just did. Brick told him that his moniker Whack was in the paperwork. Porky, the Pyru, and the trailer park pedophile beast both responded together, in unison saying, "No, it don't." Brick then responded by saying, "The paperwork said, I ain't fucking with the Whack boy," roughly paraphrasing what Mark Stevens said in the transcripts. Then CS2 back replied by asking the question, "Who ain't fucking with Whack?" Before Brick could respond, he makes another statement, screaming out, "That's what Del Dog said." So Porky just admitted that in the paperwork that he and Brick are discussing, Del Dog is recorded as saying that he's not fucking with Whack.
Come here.
He just admitted that Del Dog was talking about him in the paperwork. Hey, Porky, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you know this wiretapped conversation Mark Stevens and Del Dog were having was about you?
Right.
What did you see or read that brought you to this conclusion? And since you've admitted that it is you that they are speaking of, explain to me why the paperwork is saying that Mark Stevens is calling you back instead of Whack.
Read the paper.
The police said a low-level, hey look, it said a low-level drug dealer informant by the name of Back, B-A-C-K.
See how much fun he was having with the word back in this video? See how he's spelling it out and all? He's doing everything with the word except saying that somebody added it.
Hey,
Reg, have I ever been known for selling drugs? I don't sell drugs.
Notice how he's calling out to Reggie Wright for help. The same man who admitted to the world that he worked as an informant for the FBI to put Mayor Omar Bradley behind bars. I have a $100,000 challenge for CS2 back that I promise you he won't take. I got 100 racks for anyone who can show me where the paperwork says that CS2 was a low-level drug dealer. Not CS3, not CI2. Show me where it says CS2 was a low-level drug dealer. Ask yourself, why is Porky lying about CS2's role in this? Why is he lying and saying the paperwork says something that it does not? Just another one of Wack's deflections. And Reggie Wright is right there to shield his creation.
Well, I don't sell weed. I just tried to snitch on you, say you did, and that burned up in his face. Now watch this though. Look, hey, go to work. Hey, wait, look, hey, listen, listen, bro. Hey, listen, bro.
Your name's Wack. I don't really.
It said back.
Like that.
You put their own shit in there.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name? If you gonna add some shit and you want to make it believable, just put my real name. Why the fuck would you put something in there that say it sounds like your real name? Like, he's just crazy. Dude said, actually, we got the clip. He said, I went and pulled the paperwork myself. Same docket number right here.
You guys, it's just so funny. In the paperwork, Mark Stevens asked Del Dog what should he tell Back, because Back had been blowing his phone up, trying to get Dog's phone number. Del Dog responds to Mark Stevens by telling him that he was cool on Back, and he didn't want him to have his phone number. Porky the Pyru read that in the paperwork, then admitted to all of us that Del Dog was talking about him, when he told Mark Stevens he didn't want Back to have his phone number. Now he's on Clubhouse, saying somebody added the name Back. What he isn't saying, though, is that the conversation being had between Mark Stevens and Del Dog is fake, or that the conversation they're having is not about him. So Porky's only discrepancy is that somebody wrongfully placed the name back into the paperwork. I must admit, he's absolutely correct about that. The feds put the name back in the transcripts, but we all know it should say Wack. Porky himself, and Officer Greg Kading, admitted to everybody that Mark Stevens and Del Dog were talking about Cash Jones' Wack 100.
There is no fucking clause in there with the CS2 back mentioned. You added that to your paperwork. So, you know what I need to do? I need to let Reek and the Baltimore dude just come do a paperwork party on Wack. Just run all their work.
Well, if you do decide to do that, Porky, make sure you send this video to Reek and let him react to it on Clubhouse.
And then they got a clip of a police. This is another thing I don't like. You got the police, and I ain't never had no interaction with.
That nigga said, this another thing I don't like. They got the police. Of course you don't like it. How we got the police saying anything about you? We ain't never met this nigga. Why is the police lying on you, saying the same thing Mark Stevens saying and that Stutterbox was saying? You see us too bad. You got arrested. Let's get back to
it. On Wack, just run all they work.
Well, if you do decide to do that, Porky, make sure you send this video to Reek and let him react to it on Clubhouse.
And then they got a clip of a police. This is another thing I don't like. You got the police, and I ain't never had no interaction with. He says, yeah, I think we arrested Cash Jones.
You guys, this isn't equals MC square. This is ABC 1 2 3. Very simple and easy to see. If a person lies about everything surrounding a situation, it's because they're guilty. He just purposely and conveniently lied and said the detective said he thinks they arrested Cash Jones. The officer didn't say one word about thinking nothing. I'm gonna play the clip. Tell me where this detective says the word think.
Erases opinion. In reality, this is a task force with a lot of different agencies that all work together to get this done. Can you speak a little bit about that, on if Greg's credibility hurts the findings of the entire task force?
Meaning Greg Kading.
Or not?
Dirty cop.
This guy.
No, he's going to talk about.
First of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones. There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones, Cash Jones, Cash Jones.
Now, did you guys hear this man say anything about the word think? This is former Los Angeles detective Michael Coet, The same guy that Shug requested be present when he turned himself in for the murder of Terry Carter. He just said that out of Greg Kading's, they arrested only one person, and that person was Cash Jones. The detective didn't say he thought anything. He said there was only one person arrested, and he knew exactly who that person was.
Then you got Greg Kading, who was the lead detective over the whole case.
It's crazy that CS2 Back is still on Clubhouse lying about Greg being the lead investigator. At this point, it's safe to say that Porky is not just lying about Greg. Porky is now lying on Greg. We interviewed Greg, and he told us that Porky was lying. I can still remember the way Big Back would put his fingers in Baby Back's booty to make him go live to echo this lie.
Cash Jones, we don't usually use monikers under those circumstances, like Whack or Whack 100.
Okay, so this is the lead detective in the investigation.
So Greg, let me ask you, because the people want to know. When Whack brought you on Clubhouse, he introduced you as the lead investigator on the Stutterbox case. Is that true? Were you the lead investigator in that case?
No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Here's how that went. The guys that worked down in 77th Division, primarily a couple of investigators, a guy named Christian and a guy named Mark, they wanted to do a Main Street Crip case. And when they were doing their Main Street Crip case, obviously we're already dealing with Box on an unrelated thing, but now Box is wrapped up in this whole dilemma with Bell Dog and, all the shit that he had going on with those guys. So, we were dealing with Box entirely on a separate level, or I'm sorry, for a separate thing. And they said, hey, we want to do this kind of larger federal type of case on Main Street. Can you help us? Excuse me, Greg, can you help us get this over to the federal level and to do an investigation on the federal level? Because, some of these guys don't have that experience to know how to go from a local investigation to a broader federal investigation. So they came to me, say, Greg, can you help us? I said, yeah, absolutely. You guys think you got a good case here? Let's do it. So I helped them initiate the case. I helped them get up on a wiretap and, kind of helped oversee it. They were really the leads on it. They had the intel. They knew who the players were. They knew what the history was. And I became aware of it. I started to realize, what Box had to do with Shaq and what Box had to do with Bell Dog and all of that. So that was it. I wasn't like the main. I was one of the guys that was directly involved, but more of like an overseer as opposed to the boots on the ground kind of guy.
He says, what are you talking about? Cash Jones was never arrested. But they don't play that part. They just cut it out the other time. They just stop it right there. Y'all think we arrested Cash Jones. They don't let the other dude come in 4 seconds later and say, yo, bro, what are you talking about? This dude was never arrested. We arrested all the main streets. Cash Jones is on the Suge Knight side of the investigation. Cash Jones is on the Suge Knight side of the investigation. Cash Jones is on the Suge Knight side of the investigation. You were on the Main Street side of the investigation. So if Cash Jones would have been arrested, it wouldn't have been by you, it would have been by us, because we were on the Suge Knight side of the investigation.
That's more of the game that CS2 Back is attempting to play on the people. He's trying to make us believe that there's two sides to one investigation. CS2 Back was arrested just.
The news in color. What was the very important point earlier that y'all missed? I want to know what I missed. Please enlighten me, sir. Thank you.
Just like Detective Coet said he was, but his arrest had absolutely nothing to do with Stutterbox and the Main Street Crip case. Greg Kading erased Porky's arrest from history after Pork Butt corroborated his narrative. that Poochie killed Biggie for Marion Knight. This is what Stutterbox was explaining to Deuce M's.
So look, I asked you this morning, I said, hey, was Wack ever on the phone with you asking you to knock down Dildo? Because we already know that that he was trying to backdoor you, right?
Grace Katie, I did 4 years in the face. I did Grace Katie sent me to prison.
Right.
He got on the stand and sent me to prison. Because after they didn't Wack know about what he did, they couldn't take them to jail because they would have had to involve Wack. So Wack had to give him something clean. Wack gave him Poochie from Compton.
Poochie for Foodtown Pyro. Because that's
No, killed Poochie. No, Poochie killed Biggie.
right.
For sure. And Wack knew the inside information. He gave it to Greg Katie. Greg Katie closed his book and made Wack look like a hero.
So when did how would Wack even know about
how he knew about Poochie? The man who introduced him to the music industry and to Marion Knight is one of the men who helped create that entire narrative.
And I have my notes. So according to Greg Kading, Poochie killed Biggie. That's the story I believe. And Poochie.
That's the story I believe. Hey, salute to 702 POW. He said 702 Cash App. Shout out to Vegas. I'm quite sure that's what the 702 is for. Appreciate the content, man. Hey, listen, man. We appreciate the support, man. All right. Boom. The news in color. Oh, here we go. He said, well, what we all forgot. Wack 100 said he doesn't sell drugs, not even weed, and then points to CW2 because CW2 sells drugs. No, not CW2, CI2 is the one that was said to have been a low-level drug dealer, not CW2. That's exactly why Scandalous was trying to bait him into $100,000 bet. We ain't missed nothing, player. Stop assuming you the smartest man in the chat. You underestimating a lot of these people, man. You ain't just heard what Mike was talking about.
Whatever the story is that Greg is pushing is what I believe.
Just how did that connection develop between you and Reggie to begin with?
Okay, so I'd never met Reggie in my life until I think 2008. So we were already several years into the investigation. And of course, Reggie Wright, I had already seen all the interviews that he conducted, both with the FBI and with the LAPD and with the Sheriff's Department. There was a long history of interviews with Reggie Wright. And so I was privy to all of that information. I know what he had said. I know what he didn't say. And so at some point in time, we just went and said, hey, we'd like to continue to ask you some questions. We built a rapport as we would with anybody that we want to interview. And we began to unravel some of the things that he thought might lead us down the right road. He thought might lead us down the right road. He thought might lead us down the right road.
Where did the whole Poochie theory come in? It kind of seemed like it came from Reggie Death Row Camp. And I don't know, could that be a red herring at all?
Reggie doesn't really tell us so much about Poochie. He just leads us into a direction where we meet a female. He just leads us into a direction where we meet a female. He just leads us into a direction where we meet a female who then substantiates some of the things that we believed could have been true.
As you can see, Reggie was working very hard to pin the murder of Biggie Smalls on Marion Knight. You heard Greg say that Reggie led them into the direction of Teresa Swan. You guys also heard Reggie admit that he took the same woman to meet with the FBI when he spoke to Phil Carson. I wish I could play the clip for you, but I can't because Reggie will copyright strike me. At any rate, Reggie did Marion Knight the exact same way that he did Omar Bradley. My point is that this is how CS2 back was able to give Greg the info he needed on Poochie.
We believed could have been true.
Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins?
You can call her Tammy Hawkins. I call her Teresa Swan, but it's one and the same.
She has two names.
Yeah.
And she has a child with Suge.
Correct.
I guess there was some money that changed hands?
Yeah, according to her, she gave Poochie, I think it's 14 grand or something like that. The solicitation involved an amount of 25,000. Clearly she keeps whatever the remainder was after 14 grand.
Okay, so she gets 25,000 from Suge? Allegedly?
That's allegedly, yeah. We were never able to track down these transactions. When we become aware of it, when she's telling us this story, years have passed, bank accounts are closed, Suge's been to prison. And so, yeah, we were never able to validate that claim with any tangible evidence. We're just relying on her statement, but it's backed up by other people within death row who were saying, yeah, we were all trying to figure out a way to get $25,000 in untraceable funds so that we could, you know, for something Suge needed done. They weren't aware that the money was for a hit.
So you're saying death row employees confirmed that they were trying to get $25,000 to her?
Yeah, there was a guy named Norris Anderson who was involved in this conversation, but again, it was unwittingly. He didn't know.
Norris Anderson, what was his role?
He was married to Suge's sister, and he was also an employee at death row. Okay, like a management type of employee.
Okay, so he admitted getting $25,000 to her, but not knowing what it was for.
And then, of course, we have Reggie Wright Jr. And then, of course, we have Reggie Wright Jr. And then, of course, we have Reggie Wright Jr. Reggie Wright Jr., who I think is aware of this conversation also.
We're the one raided his home. Your name ain't on the warrant. Wasn't nothing there, right? So.
Why don't you bring us that warrant? Shout out my boy Scandalous Los Angeles TV. We got one more video for y'all, man. We on our shit right now, man. Shout out Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Let me tell y'all about is Chris Brown being targeted by the United Kingdom? 67% say yes, 22% say no, and 11% say he dropped the bag. I think that all of y'all are right. It's a little bit of all of them, man. I'm glad y'all could think for yourself. But old boy asked him, was that a red herring that Reggie Wright was providing this information and providing Suge baby mom and pointing at Poochie killing Biggie Smalls, the Notorious Big, at the orders of Suge. The same thing that Wack 100 told Darren Dupree and Greg Caton when he talked to him. And I don't even think Greg Caton acknowledged that was a possibility. Oh, here it go. He say Wack 100 points to CI2 because CI2 sell drugs. If you read further down, what y'all did is state CS2 back does not have information on drugs in any manner. Wack 100 claims he does not sell any drugs. Yeah, but he lying about that too. But that's the point that we were making to you. When you said CW2, we already had, CW2. CW2 was a drug dealer. CS2 was not a drug dealer in the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't miss that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what we was trying to tell you. But you telling us what we missed. This ain't our first go-around. Scandalous did a video on that. You know what I'm saying? Breaking and challenging Wack to a $10,000 bet to show that. Wack is a no-show, just like the 100 fades he got off the internet. And he ain't took none. Let's go. Damn, we've been doing numbers. Let's go. Shout out Street Certified News, my brother. We ain't missed yet.
What's going on? I'm Larry Hoover Jr. and I'm rocking with Street Certified News.
Oh, there's your boy Kiss, man. Shout out to Street Certified News. What's cool? Hit him, Mr. Oh, yeah, you already know what it is, man. I'm rocking with Street Certified News. We got behind the scenes, man. We're gonna tie this bitch up. What up, this is Blake Mom J. We rocking with Street Certified News.
And Street Certified News, man. Shout out Big Bo. Shout out Walker.
Yo. It's your boy, Michelle Guapo, man. Street Certified News.
We back with another one. Man, first off, man, if you guys could stop, man, smack that like button on this video, man. It always helps. You know what I'm saying? When you guys drop that like button, you guys always support our videos. We greatly appreciate it. This week, man, you know what I'm saying? With all this Rolling 60 stuff going on and Big U, and there's been a lot of people that have like kind of come out just more than us and have really had negative words for Wack 100 regarding his information and how he shares information and how it could potentially be helping law enforcement. Wack 100 continues to claim that, you know, he's a street guy and he abides by street codes and street rules, but he always seems to find himself embroiled in situations where he's given a little bit too much information to law enforcement, or he's being treated a little bit too lenient by law enforcement. Although we're not really gonna get into the Big U shit, we might get into it a little bit later. We wanted to get into a 2006 gun
News
case
and color, we
where
been
Wack
covered that,
100
bro.
and his
I don't know
brother,
where you been.
both
We ain't new to
convicted
this.
felons, were caught with seemingly an artillery of firearms. You know, shout out to Active Chuck's Deuce M's. We spoke to him later in the video. He gave us some insight. This was all information that he collected directly from the, you know, the county office down
Y'all
there
see
in
that?
Texas. So he'll talk to us
108,000.
about that later. In
We go
part one of the
viral
video,
around this motherfucker.
we spoke with gangster documentarian Al Prophet. In part two, you know, we're really going to break down this 2006 gun case and how it coincidentally lines up with an older story that we told you guys about Wack 100 getting caught on wiretap with the Stutterbox, Liddell Rawls, Mark Stevens case in the Main Street Mafia Crips. So, hey, man, look, with no further ado, it's all going to come together, man. Trust me, it's crazy. So, hey, with no further ado, man, it's your boy Michelle Guapo, man, Street Certified News. April 16th, 2005.
Prayers to you, Shine
Safety
High.
trooper Darren Chase was on a routine
Prayers to
patrol
King
on
Louis.
Interstate 40 in
Hit that
Wheeler
like
County,
button if y'all
Texas,
just came
when he
in.
would pull over a 2005 Cadillac for driving 77 in a 70-mile-per-hour speed zone. The driver, later identified as Cash McElroy Jones, stated that he was a truck driver and always ran about 5 miles over the limit. He also stated that he was en route to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a funeral. At some point during the traffic stop, the trooper would ask Cash Jones for permission to search his vehicle. After denying the request, K-9 units were called to the scene. During the search, troopers located a black rifle, black shotgun, a loaded black pistol, along with several clips and large amounts of ammunition for each gun. Following the recovery of the firearms from the vehicle, both Cash Jones and his passenger, who would later go on to be identified as his brother, would be arrested, with both men being charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Soon after this arrest, he would be briefly placed on a Fed hold before posting a $10,000 bond. Once out of jail, Wack 100 would travel back to Los Angeles, where he would continue working with Death Row Records and Suge Knight. Only 2 years later, in January 2008, police would name Knight as one of the members of the mob Pyru Street Gang in a crackdown by authorities in the city of Compton. Despite his music industry connections and now managing Ray J and rapper The Game, Wack 100's name would be left out of the crackdown. In that same year, Cash Jones, aka Wack 100, will be caught on wiretap, informing business partner Mark Stevens that the Main Street Mafia Crip leader Liddell Rawls was under investigation for the kidnapping and beating of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. Liddell Rawls, who prosecutors said was the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, would be accused in a criminal complaint filed in February 2011 of directing members to kidnap, beat, and rob the victim, Robert Ross. CS2 Back will play a pivotal role in that case, both helping authorities connect the dots to Dale Dog via the wiretap phone calls and eventually helping Main Street beat their case.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack. This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, boss.
help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Right, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take
Dog.
your call. And I sent it to you. And he said
I talked to Dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call. But he said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you.
That's
the paperwork.
what
That's what you said was going off of what
that whole Main Street shit, that was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street Mafia Crips, on March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka Wack 100, would appear in Texas State Court to have his charges finally dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case, where he was caught with multiple firearms and ammunition. The stated reason for the dismissal was not lack of evidence or a violation of Wack 100's rights, as he claims, but based on the paperwork, Wack 100's gun case was dismissed in the interest of justice. So investigating this story, we tapped in with our brother Deuce M's from African Chucks, a very popular California-based media company. They really tapped into the streets, and you know, Deuce M's, man, this is somebody who, when it comes to Wack 100, and he's done extensive research on this guy. He really breaks down, you know, how Wack 100, you know, and why he concocted this whole improper search and seizure thing.
So this is my question. So Wack has addressed this before, right? Because we know the story real. We got the paperwork. He can't dispute it. It's a real case. He really got caught with hella guns as a felon in Texas. With other people. And his brother was a felon, right? So it was 2 felons that got caught. Right.
Right.
So has he ever explained how these charges got dropped? Because you sent me the paperwork and I see what it say, and it says in the interest of justice.
I sent you the video where he claims that it was dismissed for illegal search and seizure, right? Now, within that same paperwork that you got, I got that paperwork from the clerk of Wheeler County, Texas, the deputy clerk, old Debbie McLaughlin, right? And you probably can see that on the email, right?
Right.
To verify where I got it from. And there was a motion to suppress the evidence, which essentially argued fruits of a poisonous tree based upon the argument that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Right, I saw that. And the judge denied that.
Right. Now, Wack, I'm going to send you the thing where Wack is saying that's how his case got dismissed.
I get pulled over and the search happened in Texas, right? So immediately, that's why they had the Fed hold. They like, well, yeah, you know, he crossed the state lines, but you can't prove none of that. How you know I didn't pick it up in Texas? If she found something. Wheeler County, there you go. Cash Jones, Wheeler County. Them motherfuckers. Hey, bro, shout out to Texas for having audio and video on the front of their squad cars. Because if I'd have been in Cali Beach, I'd have been fucked. I'd have had to take it. Yeah, because they have to write the report based on the audio, the video and the audio. Yeah. Like if I'd have been California, it'd have been my word against theirs, but the ex-con word against theirs on how they got it. Them niggas could have said they saw something with the back seat. They could have said all kind of shit. But because they had audio and video, that's what saved.
Right. So basically, Wack is lying about why this case got dismissed, and we know that because we contacted the clerk in Texas. They sent the paperwork, and it clearly states that his motion to suppress was denied because the judge found that none of his rights got violated. They did the right kind of search, and this is what they found. So then when they had the right probable cause. So he didn't get that evidence suppressed. So then when I see the motion to dismiss and the judge grants it, and I see it's a list of all of these things that it could be.
Right.
And it's a lot of
checked.
You said what?
One of the boxes is checked.
Right, only one of the boxes is checked. But the things that it could be were surprising because it was like lack of evidence. Nope, that's not the problem. Illegal search and seizure. Nope, that's not the problem. Like I think it said something like the person that died, or it was like a few different reasons why they would drop the case. And none of those things were X'd off except for this thing that they call in the interest of justice. What's your take on what does that mean when a person get a case dismissed? Like, what is in the interest of justice? What does that usually mean?
That was the first time I ever heard it, right? So in the interest of justice essentially means that the prosecution filed that motion to dismiss the case. So WAC 100's attorney and WAC 100 had to convince the prosecution that it would be in the interest of justice that two ex-felons crossing federal state lines, making it traveling interstate commerce, making it a federal case, that sending out that message is that is cool. It's in the interest of justice that we don't prosecute this dude, which is a far-fetched reach, right?
Especially in Texas, when I mean, it's people that got 5 years for just weed in Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So this is my other question. So, like you said, he's trafficking guns across state lines. Him and his brother are already convicted felons. Somehow, some way, they get their charges dropped. Why did this thing never go federal?
Right? The feds have put a fed hold on him off of the top. He admitted to the police in a statement to the trooper, Darren Chase, that they had came from California and he was going to pick up his mother for because she can't travel. But the dude once WAC 100 says that he got a bail, his brother didn't get bail, they let him out first. He only had $180, but he had a black card. He says that a white man picked him up, him and his brother, but if the bail bond was closed until a couple of days later, how did you? And then he said the airport was 50 miles away. He was transferred to Beaumont, a federal facility or some kind of holding facility in Beaumont. He was in jail for not just a night or overnight to the next day. He says 6-7 days later, he was still in jail on hold, and that the feds came all the way to where he was at to tell him, hey, look, we don't want to pick up the case. Like, why would the feds come talk to you in person?
Right, they just wouldn't pick it up.
Or they would fax over information to the jail or to the district attorney in that city. Now, y'all can pick it up. We can't do it. Why did they have to come speak to you face to face and then you get a bail? You know what I'm saying?
And then they don't pick it up. So this was the interesting thing I'm gonna put in there, and it's gonna come with the story. Like I said, we working on the story. Within 1 month, so in my research, and this is a little spoiler, man. So you know what I'm saying? Within the research, that Main Street Mafia case, where WAC 100, we know by now, was caught on the wiretap. The indictment for that case was February 2011. That's when those guys got indicted. Now, they end up, the case getting dropped in June, but they got indicted in February 2011. WAC 100 got...
What was going on before that?
Huh?
But the case, see...
Yeah, the case started in 08. So, yeah, I know the case started in 08, and they was investigating it that whole time. WAC was caught on wiretap in 08, but they actually didn't file the charges to 2011.
Because went to jail.
Coincidentally, a month later, WAC 100 gets his Texas gun case dropped almost a month to the day in March of 2011. And
you did your calculation.
You can check the dates. I was gonna say you can check the dates. They indicted Bell Dog and Main Street Mafia Crips in February 2011 after a 3-year investigation or 4-year investigation. And a month later, WAC 100 got his gun case dropped in Texas.
It's your boy, Mauricio Guapo, Street Certified News, man. The most reputable source for urban media. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for staying tuned to this 2-part series. Shout out Al Prophet, man. Shout out Deuce M. And like I said, man, really the moral of the story is a lot of these guys be lying about who they is, they life or whatever. and they perpetuating images that are not positive for the kids. And it's even more hypocritical because they perpetuate images that they not living even in the first place. So, hey, like I said, man.
Y'all see my boy Guapo got that big old chain on there. Them YouTube checks be looking chunky when you getting videos doing 108,000 each. Let's go to this other one. It did 90,000. This was another one I worked on with based on the main street page. Let's go.
What's going on? I'm Larry Hoover Jr. and I'm rocking with Street Certified News. Oh, there's your boy Kiss, man. Shout out to Street Certified News. What's cool? Hit him, Mr. Oh, yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. I'm rocking with Street Certified News. We got behind the scenes, man. We're gonna tie this bitch up. What up, this your boy Bomb J? We rocking with Street Certified News.
Man, Street Certified News, man. Shout out Big Bo. Shout out Walker.
Certified, man.
Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy MXL Guapo, man. Street Certified News. And we back with another one. As you can see from the title, man, this week, man, we get real deep, man. The boy Wack 100. A few months ago, there were some interviews that came out from the dude, Robert Ross, a.k.a. Stutterbox, as well as Mark Stevens. Shout out, man, Big OG Spider-Lope, man. You know what I'm saying? They came on his podcast and they told, a story that was very compelling. You know what I'm saying? Also, man, shout out the boy Deuce, man, Active Chucks.
Hey, bro, everything that you said, I've covered it. 3 years, bro. Get out your field. He said, I hope you don't think you know everything because I'm a fan and I thought this is and was a team effort. But salute anyway. No, salute. But no, I don't think I know everything. A man who knows something, he knows nothing at all. But when it comes to this case, I done analyzed it for 3 years over every single line since I first exposed it. Broke it down for 3 years straight. So there's nothing that you can analyze, and not just by myself, with the whole team. Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Smoked Out TV, That Girl Henny, even when Shy Banks was with us, Dice Media, Treetop, the whole Bomani, Big U, everybody, bro. So the point that you're trying to make has been no point, period. You saying that's not what you was trying to make, you ain't made no point. Not one that we didn't cover, King.
He's actually the director of the video about Wack 100 that's currently at like 2 million views on WorldStar right now. It's on their website as well as their YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? We dug into this story, man. We wanted to start from like the most unbiased place possible. You know what I'm saying? In the past, we have made videos, you know what I'm saying? We have made fun of Wack 100. But like I said, man, when we saw a video on WorldStar, that necessarily didn't convince us that, bro was a rat. You know what I mean? We really went into this story like as unbiased as possible so that, you know what I'm saying, we could give you guys the best story. And like I said, man, the information we're going to provide in this video, man,
we're not letting you call in. We don't got
it's literally, we did all the due diligence.
Go ahead and jump
before we get started. We need everybody to stop, smack the like button, man. Man, let's get this video to 1,000 likes, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we say 500, sometimes we say 400, 300. Man, let's run this video up to 1,000 likes. Like I said, man, we did our due diligence in this video. We reached out to people. You know what I'm saying? We checked paperwork. We did everything we could possibly do to bring you guys like the most accurate story on this whole Wack 100 CS2 situation. You know what I'm saying? So this week's story, how the boy Wack 100 exposed himself as a federal informant, and how all of this started with the Main Street Mafia Crips and LA Lakers star Shaquille O'Neal, man. Sound crazy already, I know, man. Hey, but no further ado, man, let's get right into it. February 2008, record producer and alleged Mafia Crip Robert Ross, while parked on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California,
is approached by men he believed to also be associated with the Main Street Mafia Crips. These men directed Mr. Ross to follow them to a different location, to the home of Main Street Crip leader Liddell Dog Rose. It was there where Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, would testify he was beaten and told to fix his problems with Mark Stevens, a business manager who worked closely with Shaquille O'Neal. Ross would go on to testify that he also formerly worked for Shaquille O'Neal and Stevens as a music producer for artists signed to the record label Deja 34. This part of the story was like super important, man. Like I said, researching this story, man, the Main Street Mafia Crips popped up, as well as the dude Shaquille O'Neal, man. We gonna get into kind of how it all ends later, but we really wanted y'all to kind of see this part of the story because it's like a lot of coincidences, as well as, you know what I'm saying, Wack 100, you know, many times inserting himself in situations, including eventually this one. We really want to tell y'all this part, but we promise y'all it's gonna get to Wack. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, court records would show that Robert Ross would testify that while he worked for Shaq, because of Ross's criminal past, would sometimes ask him to like do weird shit that he didn't feel like was in the, you know, music producer job title. It's also alleged around this time that Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, he met Shaq's wife and allegedly may have had an affair with her and secretly recorded a sex tape. This sex tape would be something that Ross would admit that he told Shaq and Mark Stevens about only weeks before this encounter with the Main Street Crips. In July of 2000, would take his information to the LA County Sheriff, claiming Shaq and Mark Stevens paid the Main Street Crips to kidnap him. Also during this meeting, Robert Ross would admit the sex tape was a hoax, meant to extort Shaq and Stevens for a larger cut in their music business. As a result, a wiretap would be placed on Mark Stevens and Liddell Rose's phone. Now let's get to Wack 100. Wack 100, aka Cash Jones, by 2008, is a part-time music manager, part-time street politician, and full-time trucking company CEO. Being a former associate of Suge Knight and a Blood Gang member, Wack admits many people in the streets looked at his successful trucking company as a front. But Wack says he always did legitimate business through his companies. It was also during this time that Wack 100, aka Cash Jones, claims he was neighbors with a high-ranking Crip named Stutterbox, aka Robert Ross. Coincidentally, Wack 100 also at this time managed Ray J, who was signed to a joint venture between Mark Stevens' label and Suge Knight's Death Row Records. Like I said, man, doing the research on this video, like we ran into like hella weird coincidences like that, bro. Lived next door to him. They became friends.
Hey, the news color says you never covered or ever in any video or ever or mentioned ever in any video that Wack does not sell drugs. If so, what video? No, I've never said that Wack doesn't sell drugs because I interviewed his cousin, the dude that he sold drugs for, his nephew that raised him, because he did sell drugs. So no, we never said that. So that's a mute point, bro. We never said he ain't never sold drugs. You're making a point that he never sold drugs, then you don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro.
He also was in business with Mark Stevens through Death Row Records and Ray J, and it was just a million different ways that like this story was twisted and turning, man. And it kind of like it slowed me down. For people that don't know, that video hit World Star maybe like 2 days ago. During the process of, you know, doing our research, we happened to reach out to LA OG Spider Lope. We spoke with him, and he introduced us to the boy Deuce. For people who don't know, we got Spider Loc on the call, and then just give him your name, bro, just so that everybody understand, where you come from.
I'm Deuce M, CEO of Active Chucks, and I also run the podcast, Damu Kiwe Conversations. Whack 100 interviewed with academics and Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm a blood, homie, like from South Central LA. That's not something we condone, and that reflects on my community. So I seen him in Death of the Cloud Chaser room, Big Chuck room, and I questioned him on that. Like he was talking about Big U going to see Jim Jones, and I'm like, well, he said, well, yeah, he gonna fuck with him because he haven't seen no paperwork. I said, well, rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Till you see the real quick. So we got Renegade Duchess saying that, and when I met Wack in the 80s, yes, he sold drugs. So whatever the dude named Color, whatever his name was, Color, she not the only person that I know from Pacoima that already said that. So yeah, we're not gonna ever say that Wack never sold drugs. That's just not what we was told from multiple people. Paperwork, you don't just treat them out. You don't go do a crime with them because you hear speculation, but you don't just, you know what I'm saying, jump to no conclusions. He was like, yeah, that's how I go. I said, okay, but what in your situation, you don't need to see the paperwork. Tekashi 6ix9ine is publicly exposed as a federal informant, this and that. You don't see the hypocrisy in that? And then we went back and forth, and he was like, look, I see you understand the street shit, but where I'm at with my business, you not there, but I wasn't supposed to come in this room. I think the reason I came in this room was to get with you. If you want to do business and whatever you got going on, you need some help, holler at me. I hit him in his back channel and let him know I ain't on no bullshit with you. I just did 8 years in state prison, 10 years before that in federal prison. But I ain't trying to deal with you because I'm looking at it like he's a potential rat.
Following Ross, aka Stutterbox, telling the authorities about him being kidnapped by his own gang, he would go on to seemingly continue to live the same gangster lifestyle, knowing that yet known Main Street was under investigation, and no one knew Ross was the main witness. In an interview with Bomb First, Wack 100 claims that he became friends with Stutterbox because they were neighbors, and that they would occasionally hang out with girls. Wack 100 would go on to claim that one of the women he hung out with, he would later go on to see at the Wilshire Federal Building, dressed in a law enforcement uniform. Wack would go on to claim that these girls that he met while hanging out with Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, they asked him about drug buys and different things like this happened when he would hang out with him. In his interviews, he claims that it's these types of encounters that he believed led to an investigation on him. And, that's why his house was raided and all of these things. And like I said, it sounds very convenient and it sounds very plausible. But in later years, when Wack speaks about this arrest, and even when, he goes and gets cops to speak on his behalf about this arrest, it's never about drugs. And he claims that these women who were with Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, he claims that these women were asking him about kilos and drugs, and I guess they thought maybe he used his trucks to transport drugs. But then when he gets his house raided, it's not about drugs. These type of stories, man, it's very important that like I said, we don't want to be first, man, but we want to be right. And the big thing about this story is that that video that hit World Star, a lot of people considered that video, kind of retaliation for some things that Wack 100 and others have kind of been spreading, some false stories about Nipsey Hussle's death. And that was something that we took into account, when we spoke with the OG Spider Loc, when we spoke with the dude Deuce, and we really, when we did our own due diligence, and that was one of the main reasons why we was like, man, we really want to add our own due diligence into this. And I told them dudes, like, look, I want to make sure that it don't look like this is coming from a person who don't like Whack 100. You see what I'm saying? Because it's one thing not to like somebody, and it's a whole nother thing to, you know, literally lay out layer by layer exactly, you know, why this dude is an informant and why he's basically admitted to it in interviews if you're able to piece the entire story together. So when we spoke with Deuce specifically, man, you know, and Big U, you know, his name came up. You know, this is what he had to say about, you know, Big U's involvement in the production of this original video about Whack 100.
Bro, then he jumped on No Jumper and implicated Big U in the conspiracy to commit murder, insinuating that it was done because Nipsey Hussle was up next for the grid contract.
On top of that, he bring Loose Lip Cannon on No Jumper, coerce him, and have him also implicate him in supplying guns to the Rolling 60s, as well as that. Don't worry about the dude, Color. He just wanted
was the subject of a potential RICO case right now. He the one that told the world that. He been trying to say the feds is interested in Big U for RICO scenarios, and then he doubled down and come out there and talk about he's been selling 20 guns and all that. Wow.
And extortion. He implicated him in 3 different crimes. Well, total 5 different crimes because he listed 3 names in extortion.
That nigga said Rick Ross and Meek Mill didn't even know Big U sent you, huh? Wow.
Right. Yeah, straight rats. But think about this also, bro. He said that I went on Federal Bureau of Prison website, right? If you go on there, type in Lamonte Sims, black, age 45, my case is gonna come out. It shows that I was released 2011 from federal custody, right? I'm no longer on federal probation or supervised release, none of that shit.
Okay.
But when he said that he had a RICO coming, and at another time they said he got picked up and the RICO was already coming. First of all, if you don't know the RICO coming because it's sealed until it's dropped.
Renegade
So the only way you would know that a RICO was coming if it was true was if you had information from the police.
And Hono Hunter think he got it figured out. Don't even know Big U was surprised to see it on World Star. Everybody know Big U got the World Star plug. Goofy. Now you didn't tell no secrets.
So why is people
So
why is people saying that this? Yeah, like I was gonna say, a lot of fans are saying this just like get back for the shit that they put on No Jumper. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, no, I mean, you know what you say, a lie unchallenged becomes the truth.
Facts.
So perhaps it is an answer, but it's not a fabrication. It's not a production.
Right. Well, let me tell you this, bro. I already worked on this. You've seen the other 3 videos. I don't have a louder voice of them. I needed a marketing plan, a marketing strategy. So when what's the name? When Big U seen it, he said, bro, more people need to hear this. I got the Checking In podcast. If you give me a license, I can let them promote it for you.
On August 5th, 2008, only 5 months since the kidnapping of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, a 7-minute wiretap conversation was recorded. The target of the wiretap is Mark Stevens, and he is recorded on the line with another target, Lindell Dale Dog Rouse, the alleged leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips. During the call, he reported asking Dale if he wants to speak with the Whack Boy, to which Dale declines. Stevens goes on to say that he doesn't help him, and that he called him out of the blue just the day before, August 4th, with the request. This recorded wiretap will also be transcribed for future court proceedings. In the official wiretap transcript document, and before you actually get to the conversation, it is noted that the man police refer to as confidential source 2, aka Back, is stated as the person attempting to get in contact with Dale Dog through Mark Stevens. In this exact conversation, Stevens refers to the same man who wants to speak with Dale as the Whack Boy. Coincidentally, the Whack Boy, aka CS2, aka Back, was calling to inform Stevens and Dale that Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, was an informant.
and they were likely under investigation. Eventually, 7 Main Street Crips, along with alleged leader Liddell Del Dog Rouse, were arrested and charged with the kidnapping of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. NBA star Shaquille O'Neal would even be questioned about his reported ties to the Main Street Crips, but Shaq was eventually cleared. Ultimately, the overall lack of evidence and inconsistency in Robert Ross's original story led to the charges being dropped. What we want to do is we just want to lay out the facts. We want to lay out things that if you go through yourself, all of these interviews and all of these different pieces of information, if you were to go through all this information, none of this information is refuted. Wack 100 admits that he learned Robert Ross was an informant while he was picking up paperwork at the Wilshire Federal Building. This happened to be after his home was raided. He was never charged with anything. And, he admits he was there, and he admits that's when he learned Robert Ross was an informant. That's a fact. So that's the first fact. So the second fact that was very important in this case is that the LA County Sheriff wiretap transcripts stated that a man by the name of Back, aka CS2, contacted Mark Stevens on August 5th. Well, he contacted him on August 4th, 2008, and Mark Stevens then contacted Del Dog about this call on August 5th, 2008. Mark Stevens referred to this dude as the Wag Boy, and the government referred to him as Confidential Source 2 and Back. Also recently, man, this dude Wack 100, now he's claiming that he helped 7 Main Street Crips avoid jail. I guess recently he was in, on Clubhouse in the depth of the Clout Chaser room, and he claims that, there's no way he could be a snitch because he actually helped 7 Main Street Crip members avoid jail. Which, to be honest, man, like we said, all of this really came full circle, man. That is exactly what CS2 did, aka Back, aka the Whack Boy. He called and he warned the Main Street Crips about a snitch, not even potentially. He called and warned them about a snitch. They were able to distance themselves and really shut down all communication, eventually causing these charges to get dropped. So basically at this point, like we said, man, at the beginning of the video, the boy Wack 100 has finally admitted that he is CS2. I guess his thing is nobody went to jail. He actually helped people get out of jail. But at the end of the day, man, Wack 100 is CS2 in that Main Street Crip, Mark Stevens, Liddell Ross paperwork. It's the dude Wack 100, man. Shout out to the OG Spider Loke, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, he really tapped me into some real good insight and some real good information. Y'all check out his podcast because, like I said, he has interviews with Mark Stevens as well as Robert Ross Stutterbox. Even though Stutterbox, you know what I'm saying, he told, but at least you can hear, his part. And it does help kind of fill in certain gaps or whatever. You know what I mean? Also, man, shout out to Dude Deuce, man. Video on World Star right now, over 2 million views, man. They breaking down the paperwork of the boy Wack 100.
Over 2 million views. That's what we do. The Damu Kiwe conversations, man. I remember me and Yael was in Hollywood at the studio. Oh, Yael. Oh, they let him back in. Yeah, you hear me? You was having them technical difficulties. Ricky, hey, Deuce, do you know if Big U has seen the discovery? If not, that's some bullshit. No, Big U has not seen his discovery. Straight bullshit, bro. And they're doing that on purpose because they don't want to reveal their witnesses. If you remember at the bail hearing, they said that some of the witnesses have already recanted their statement to federal authorities. So the last thing they need protection, these witnesses. So the last thing they want to do is to give him all of the information and let him take it back to study and see not only who's telling on him what they said and prepare his defense, but they have to by law, all inculpatory or exculpatory evidence. But today he hasn't even have a copy of his indictment, bro, let alone his discovery. That shit is crazy. And he has not waived his right to a speedy trial, which is honestly based on the prosecution negligence to turn over this when he's made it clear to his lawyer and to the courts that he will not waive his speedy trial right. This is a violation of his right to due process under the 14th Amendment. G-Zope action, big facts, free Breezy, facts, free Big U. A seed of destruction amongst purity, Damu Kiwe, conversations. Senior Gen Trav, salute, bro. Mike B, salute. G-Zope, free C Murder, King B, Mike B, what up? Salute, Mike B. Deuce, do you think the trial will be televised? No, the federal courts don't be allowing that. It'll be kind of like how the Diddy trial is. Diddy is having a federal trial, and you'll get certain stuff from the media. And I'm going to be there. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I'm there with my media passes. If you didn't know, I am a part of the media. Active Chucks ENT, official like a gangbanger with a pistol. You know, a gangbanger ain't official till he got that first pistol. 6-shooter or a tech with the 30-round extended nick, it don't matter. If he got that pistol, he official. But yeah, we definitely gonna be there. Bro, I believe Wack won't go back to Pacoima because of that BB gun incident. Nah, he been there since the BB gun bandit incident. Corey on the way, Juan. The feds has botched up a lot of things. Look at what's going on in the Diddy case. Yeah, hey, I ain't caught up with all the Diddy case stuff, but I know one thing. Cassie's statements were very inconsistent with facts. I mean, on the face of things, I can see how the prosecution would believe that because they hadn't seen the text messages that Diddy and them had for evidence, right? They should have known, though, that the escort dude was going to come to court and testify that Cassie told her to piss on him. Diddy didn't tell her to do that. Cassie told him that. Now, it done came out that Diddy helped Cassie check into a rehab, but it wasn't just a drug rehab to get her off the opiates. They had her on some whatever it's called to get her off the opiates, but then they gave her something else. But that place was also rehabilitation for sexual urges. She was in a freak rehab because she couldn't control her urges. She was a sexual maniac. So her testifying, lying, saying that she didn't like the free calls, and then the text saying she did, they know for a fact that she's over misrepresenting facts. And that's they both some nasty motherfuckers. She might be nastier than him. He's a homosexual. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He's a sick bastard. He want her to rub the piss all on his nipples, and this shit is some shit you only think about when you hear about the Illuminati and their pleasures, right? So he's sick, but she really got off on it. She's nasty. Then she wanted to be his main broad, and then he caught her cheating, right? Then she get with her husband, the dude that she pregnant by now, the Mountaineer, and then he's still fucking up on the bitch while she with the Mountaineer. I think he was like a fitness instructor or yoga, whatever the fuck he was. And then he's still hitting the bitch. She cheated on him. She definitely got exposed of having of liking sexual deviant behavior, of going to that, and also of lying. Like she really was trying to make it seem like she wasn't with that and he was forcing it onto her. Bitches is out of pocket nowadays. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna even lie. If I see you trying to get me out the way like that, man, my life is on the line. I think your life should be on the line equally. The feds are definitely breaking the law by not releasing the discovery. Oh yeah, they definitely is. We will donate to the cause. Thank you, Miss Lisa. When I get an email from him, I'm gonna make sure I tell him that because you ain't the only one. It's been a couple people stay out the pickle and grow cucumbers. What's not true? Pissy mouth. Yeah, that's some nasty shit. How did he shoot a man in the face 32 times with a BB gun? Was he asleep? That's not true and doesn't excuse the violence. No, I'm not saying that the violence is excusable, period. Unlike y'all, though, I believe violence should be not indiscriminate, right? Because I just seen a girl right now, a dude fighting a dude, and a girl come with a chair and hit him in the back of the head. I would have beat that nigga ass and then beat her ass with that chair. I don't give a fuck if she got a pussy. At that point, you deserve what you got coming. On top of that, I know a lot of greasy ass females who work their whole life lining niggas up. Some of them no longer here because they got worse than that. Lining niggas up to get robbed, and some niggas even getting chipped. So, yeah, I'm not with all that. Oh, it doesn't excuse the violence on women. Listen, some of these bitches deserve whatever. When you make up your bed, you got to sleep in that motherfucker. And whenever you playing them type of games, you deserve what you got coming. Now, Diddy's situation and his violence in a relationship with a woman, she threatened him, but I didn't hear no evidence that she put her hands on him or assaulted him. So his violence is not excused. I'm talking about total different situation. His violence on her, totally out of pocket. From everything that I heard, maybe I missed some evidence because I ain't been keeping up with it like that. But I caught some of the facts and some of the people breaking down some of the facts that came out of the hearing and questioning. But I know she threatened him. A female threatening me. I don't feel no threat by a female threatening me. But if she put her hands on me and get within striking distance or picks up a weapon, all bets is off at that point. Cassie was in a free cab. Yeah. Battered women syndrome. You can't say that, Miss Lisa. So you saying the only reason she went back was battered women. It didn't have nothing to do with the money. It didn't have nothing to do with her liking to be pissed on and pissed in her mouth and all of that type of shit. So that's what you want us to believe, Miss Lisa? Because I don't believe that shit. I believe that might have played a part, but that ain't the only reason she went through. There were benefits that outweighed her not going back. Winnie 100 just say Cassie ran to his house several times running from Puff. Yeah, you know he gonna say anything. 2025 is the year of the truth. And that's some nasty truth. She was 19 and he was 17 years older and abusive. As a survivor, I can speak on a bit. Miss Lisa, I can understand, but your situation wasn't her situation. So you fighting a fight that you already survived. Her situation with him is different. Him abusing her is one thing. He's guilty of that. We have no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And there was no justification because she threatened that she'll chop him up and all of this type of shit. But we have no evidence that she physically abused him or he picked up a weapon and actually acted out on those threats. But her lying, you're talking about the physical abuse. We're talking about her lying, saying that she didn't want to be a part of the freak off. That's a lie. You're trying to justify it, saying that it was Stockholm syndrome, battered women syndrome, and I believe that might have had a part to do with it, but there's no question about it. The money that I think that weighed into her decision on continuing to go back, the fact that she wanted to be his number one. what weighed in her decision to continue to go back, even when she was cheating on him, and he told her, well, look, I don't got a problem with that. Let's talk about it. You can see other men, because she has the sex problem, but you got to go to this sex hab and all of that type of stuff. She still wanted to be with him. She lied and said that she did. Oh, nobody wants to go to a freak off. Who would like that? And then it comes out on the text that she like, yay, I'm always ready for the freak off. Wherever I need to be, let me know. And this was after she had got off the drugs for a period of time. So just because she's a victim of domestic violence doesn't excuse or absolve her responsibility for making decisions that benefited her that she want to later lie about, so that to the court to lock a brother up of charges, which, if you would believe that, would be similar to rape, similar to human trafficking. If you agreed to and you were a part of that, y'all both grown adults, ain't no human trafficking. Y'all swingers. That's what that's called. That's not a criminal case. And that's what we talking about, Miss Lisa. Steffi Weffy, facts, dudes. King Yael, get active, full shalom. Heidi B, salute. And I never thought I'd be a victim when I was 26. See, Miss Lisa, I know y'all, you know I love you, Miss Lisa. Y'all emotional beings, and we're not talking about you being a victim. We're talking about her lying. Two different things. The two could be, both could be true at the same time. He can physically assault her, right? They can have a toxic ass relationship. In the hood is so much more commonplace. When I was growing up, toxic relationships where bitches busting niggas in the head with pot shit. John Jr. went to that shit, getting spaghetti threw on them and all kind of shit. Toxic ass relationships, which was so common in the community, where we still haven't healed from a lot of the trauma that's been constantly passed on. We get that, right? But on this level, those people always, not all the time, but majority of the time, those people always stayed together. And it wasn't just the women that were being victims, it were men being victims. But there's other reasons they stay together, because of the kids. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different reasons why people stand around. So to say just because they were victims is why they stand around, that's bullshit. That could be have a part to play in it, because they're mentally unstable, obviously. But I think that it was a lot of the other rewards and accommodations. This Diddy case needs to be thrown out. Now, I don't think it needs to be thrown out. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't believe that under the law, a lot of the shit that he did was criminal. But I don't know enough about the facts to say that it just needs to be thrown out. You know what I'm saying? Stockholm is real, but come on now. Yeah, JB, that's what I'm saying. Stockholm is definitely real. You can't deny that, bro. It's a scientific proof. Queen Steffi Weffy, Miss Lisa, salute. It's time to eat. Cassie likes that, what I call Dubai treatment. Yeah. Renegade, she was drugged. If he was a pimp like we see, then it would be different. She was drugged. She always was drugged. She liked drugs. And they passing around herpes to all these motherfuckers. They both out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? We don't say she was drugged like he did this to do it. That's what she was lying about, Miss Lisa. Saying that he wanted to keep her drugged and was putting her on these drugs. And that's not the truth. They were both on drugs, cocaine and all kind of shit. She said she was popping ecstasy, Molly, all kind of shit. So And then she was away from him. She was still on drugs, even after she got out of rehab. Tommy Scott, Brims, braids yanking on Hito. We got to get your opinion. I'm 45. You from my time. What you say about this? I think, well, listen, bro. It's on the internet. You can't get mad at Braids for whatever opinion he got, especially when you haven't heard no smut on Braids' name. It'd be different if Braids had a whole lot of fucked up shits that was public and he he had smut on his name. He's a Damu and he done helped it up to the standard where the bar been set before I started doing that shit. So for Heat, though, I mean, shit happens, bro. I'm glad he's alive, obviously. But I know how the homies look at it and they're going to say you got the hood looking bad. That might cause for some kind of disciplinary action. It might cause for a put off, or a nigga might have to go. There's a lot of different ways that niggas handle that. But he is a rapper, bro. But that's why you don't play with that banging shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Salute to that brother, though. You know what I'm saying? Heat, though. You trying to do something positive with your life, but you can't do both. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up, but that's just the reality of life in South Central LA. Now, me, I refrain from just speaking on or doing and highlighting gangbang activities that's going on in the streets. I'm not in the streets. I'm not there the front line. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the trenches with the wolves. I'm connected to them. I stay in contact, wish them the best. I'm here for them positively any way I could do positively. That's just where I'm at in my evolution. He's still on that lower thing, but thank God that dude's still alive. On top of that, thank God that they didn't pull out no gun and start shooting. That was the homie Red Flag. Salute to the homie Red Flag. VN, you already know what it is. 50s FHN, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was his daughter. The one that was saying something else. And that would have went somewhere totally different. Because I know the old Red Flag. You know what I'm saying? We was in the feds together, but from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Flag been through it. That did everything that come with this game. And he's in a whole different space. But as a father, I would hate to have seen him digress from his evolution and where he's at today, his focus today. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all the VNs, man. Salute to the FHNs. But yeah, man, that's what I'm gonna say, Tommy Scott. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm quite sure the homies gonna politic that. But I remember the G homie, I even walking through the hood, Big Loco Mike, free the homie. He ended up getting like 300 years or something like that, homie. You know what I'm saying? Socking nigga. I'm walking around with a Mac. What you doing walking through the hood, blood? He got the Nova on the laces. McLean's. Y'all might not know about that. You know what I'm saying? He got the curl. Like, blood, I'm bull, nigga. What the fuck that mean? Niggas get killed with they strap. Put me in the car. He punching on me. Mind me, I'm frail and all of this type of shit to where I got tears coming down my eye. Later on, I learned that Loco Mike really loved me. He was trying to protect me and help me from getting caught and confident just because I got a gun. Security on top of security on top of security. That was blood love. You know what I'm saying? So, people talk a lot of bad shit about the gang politics and what they teach these youngsters. They teach these youngsters the only thing that they were taught, and that is how to survive. They don't teach you how to excel in life. They might not teach you how to get a 501k, but in them streets, the ones that love you taught you survival. This is how you stay alive, little nigga, to get back from going to the store, to get from one destination to the next. That was our focus. Shit is real. And that shit could have got real right there with that, with a flat tire getting pulled over. And then I think there was the 9-0s, Rolling 90 neighborhood Crips, getting up on you. You got gang tattoos. You in a car with a female with no blammer. Shit happens. Shit happens. Who knows? He might be on parole or probation and can't carry no blammer. And he in the car thinking he should be good, but they got a flat tire or the car broke down. Sad situation, man. But like I said, man, salute to that brother. The gang was running with the dealer for some years. Yeah, he was running with him, and so was Wack. Women are always in the wrong. I wash my hands of this conversation. No, Miss Lisa, women is not always in the wrong. She definitely in the wrong for lying. Stop making that about her having a vagina. That has nothing to do with her having a vagina. So since she has a vagina, she can't be held accountable or called out as wrong when she's caught lying specifically several times. Not, I mistook it. Not, I don't remember as much. Intentionally misrepresenting the facts to get this dude convicted of crimes that she personally know are in total contrast with the truth. You can't camouflage or try to erase accountability for those actions just because she has a vagina. Just because she was slapped or punched or stomped and kicked before by this man. That's wrong. And holding our people accountable when right, because I know they're going to hold me accountable. When right is right and wrong is wrong. And she was wrong. So don't, the one Cassie was the ringleader right under Puff. It appears that way. I can't say it's enough information to just bang that. Me, myself, I think she was jealous of what he was doing for Young Miami. No, she said Kim Porter and I think the other baby mama. She was jealous with that. She didn't want to just be another bitch. She wanted security, bro. She was smart. Most females that are smart, no matter how, if she was on drugs, that's why they said she was making those decisions off drugs. No, she was smart enough to know she didn't want to be just another bitch in his stable. She wanted to be that bitch. And she made sure she was conversing with him about her concerns because he was still spending holidays with Kim Porter and she didn't like that. The other broad. So she was jealous about all of that, but she didn't really care about them bras as long as she knew she was that bitch. Number uno. Was jealous of what he was doing for Young Miami, Carisha, whatever her name is. I think Carisha is the other name because she left a few times and didn't even tell her sister or best friend about it. Yeah, well, you're right, bro. But she was leaving to show example. You know what I'm saying? There's up action, big facts. These people are narcissists, and I don't throw that word around lightly. Hey, listen, bro. I believe y'all. I believe you on that one, bro. Good night, y'all. Look, Miss Lisa worked up. She must have had freak off withdrawals. She wasn't wrong, but she knew what the deal was, and she was with it. JB, wait, you saying she wasn't wrong for lying? The game in Diddy was a hookup, according to Cash Car Winslow. Cash Car Winslow. Grand evening, Miss Lisa. Hey, Spirit Wonder. Hey, Spirit Wonder. Might be many things could be true at the same time, so I wouldn't put it past them. Why they ain't prosecuting the entity where the sex workers came from? Raymond Safo, what you know about that? Maybe you can tell us who you talk about should be prosecuted, because I don't know where they saying the sex workers came from. Maybe that was their cooperation. Maybe that they cooperated on Diddy. Miss Lisa, I've been in the streets, drugs and all, but the sex things, they both equally wrong. Monique Hill, hey, facts 100, big ass candle, laugh out loud. Queen Mo Hill, salute. Why they ain't prosecuting the company? Oh, there was a company. Okay, I see what you're saying. Me either. I'm just wondering why she never said any time to anybody the 3 times she left, and she didn't file any charges in criminal court. She sued them. Yes, dudes, when we young, we do childish things, but we growing up. No, I'm not drinking strange piss. I think it needs to be thrown out and the state needs to pick it up. Oh, yeah, you're saying that it shouldn't be a federal racketeering case. That's a good legal argument. Renegade Duchess, maybe his lawyer should have argued that, especially after these facts. If you grew up in a broken home, you would do anything for your child to have 2 parents in their life. Ricky, hey, bro, great point, man. Great point. Facts and salute. Renegade Duchess, facts, dudes. Lil Cash, a.k.a. Slapped 100. CS2 Backdoor. McFuckboy Jones, a.k.a. Smack That 100 guy. Come on, bro. No matter how inconsistent Cassie's testimony was, Stockholm is real. Extreme, we never said Stockholm wasn't real, but to what extent? It's degrees of that, bro. It's degrees of that. So you mean to tell me, hold on, Extreme, this is what you want me to believe, that the fact this billionaire has provided a lifestyle for this woman that she didn't got accustomed to, didn't play into her decision-making skills at all? That her wanting to be his main girl and have that security in the future didn't have any effect on her decision makings to stay at all? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Noah raised 2 children, single. Renegade Duchess, respect to you. Salute to you. Extreme salute. Degante Cobbins, Deuce and Yael, Blue Wrench Mob, what up? This is about Diddy's business life. Diddy business decisions made it where they went into his personal life. Mike B, I see you holding it down. King, Dad Cabante in money. Salute Red Flag, my childhood homie. Yeah, gangster. I have dignity about myself. I believe a woman should follow her man, but I am not going to let them take my dignity. Really, don't never let nobody, man or woman, take your dignity from you. You know what I'm saying? If I got to die with mine, that's what's going to happen. The Viking might lose it after this. How to survive South Central. Mike B, you don't know about that, bro. I would stay home with the kids instead of hear my wife's filthy laundry. We as women have to be strong. I am a queen and he the king. We should be treated as such. Agree. We have to admit a woman can be the most manipulative thing God made. Yeah, or it could be the most supportive and the most supportive person that helps support and push her man to reach his full potential. That's a double-edged sword. It ain't all negative. It's up to them. They can decide to make it a heaven or hell with those that they build with. I don't think all of them understand that power. You know what I'm saying? 16 with a BB gun is not the progress R&B came. Here, Big G, y'all that type. Say it again. She set up the freak off. Yeah, she set him up. I wasn't referring to her line. I thought she was talking about her fucking with Diddy. No, she was saying it was because she been through such a toxic domestic relationship. So she was blaming it all on Stockholm. which would leave no accountability for Cassie for her part in her role. Them grown adults agreeing to do whatever they agree to is their business. I have no issue with that. If they like that, what they do in their bedroom and in privacy has nothing to do with me. As long as they don't come to me with it and keep them hurts and shit over there with them, I'm good with that. That's not criminal. But when it comes to her lying about criminal behavior, what he's on trial for right now, to blame it all on Stockholm is bullshit. To say that that's the only reason she went back is bullshit. So you don't think she benefited from that lifestyle he was providing as a billionaire? Private jet flights, all of that type of shit, clothing, jewelry, all. Y'all think she didn't like the benefits that came with being and associating with somebody that powerful? On top of that, it's throughout the whole thing, she constantly was trying to establish herself as his number one girl in his future. Smart. So you can't say on one end it's all Stockholm syndrome when she still is strategically making moves to position herself to be that bitch in his life. Obviously, she coming back even though she getting physical abuse, and Stockholm has a place in part in that. But the accountability for lying, saying that basically I didn't like the freak offs. This is what she testified to verbatim. Who would like those? Who would like to get pissed on and this and this and that? And then you get the text messages and you find out she was setting up the freak off. She's excited about the freak offs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's the one telling them to piss on her. So her lie has severe consequences on Diddy as far as him forcing her to do sexual behavior. I don't know about y'all, but I studied civil rights movement. And the Martin Luther Kings that y'all praise, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, every leader in the United States that has fought against civil rights all began because females, prominently white females then, would lie about black men doing sexual acts to them that they never consented to. Rape. And they were lynched and hung or incarcerated. Even till this day, black males in the United States of America have the highest appellate overturn rate on rape cases in the nation. That's what started the civil rights movement. And essentially because this bitch got a pussy, couldn't get what she wanted, y'all saying, fuck that nigga and his civil rights because he hit the bitch before. Nah, that shit don't work like that. That just don't work like that. Her excuse was she wanted to spend quality time with him. The spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah is still here. Hey, Raymond Sefu, you over there cooking. Yeah. Brian still ain't letting nothing ride. I wish Big U could get Brian Steele on his case. I knew you was finna say something about that, laugh out loud. I already corrected above, bro. All right, JB. Every man do not have to be an alpha male, but a man must be masculine. Yeah, he ain't. I can't say that man is masculine. Hey, listen, my nigga. Hey, salute to everybody in the chat. Deuce and y'all. What's good, Kid the Barber? Urine is the toxins that is released from your body. Yeah, that's nasty. So far, I haven't heard nothing in this case for it to be federal, maybe state charge. Damn, Deontay Copper, you the second person that said that, bro. Questioning the federal jurisdiction over this case. Sagittarius Jones, salute Deuce Sim, salute Yael, and peace to the tribes in North America. Peace to you, King. Mike B, salute. We suffer from post-traumatic stress as a people. No, that's a fact. We need to start healing. How to survive in South Central. Media ban facts. Right, 100%. She knew she was not shit. She's scandalous. A man doesn't want a woman that disrespects herself. He is not going to respect you. Yeah. Yeah. That traffic stunted, skidded, affected, swinging, mop, LGBT. Exactly. I hear women saying they can't get out. Bullshit. Yeah, well, it is harder for some. Others saying they can't get out. They feel trapped, especially when they're financially dependent upon them, especially when they don't have family members, especially when they don't know the resources available to them. Battered women homes and shelters and stuff that they do have in place nowadays for females that want to get away and want to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that they can't get out. I just think that it's scary for them. It's uncomfortable for them. She talked, and it's embarrassing to them because a lot of them are blaming themselves. You know what I'm saying? But really, they ain't got no blame in that fact unless they were also physically abusing the male. She talked to the fans because he wouldn't read her book and apologize for his actions. He settled for $20 million with her. It's a double standard. Hey, bro, that's going to be. No, we got an interview tomorrow with the dude that pressed the Crip cop in the elevator at court at Big U Court building tomorrow. But the next day, that's gonna be the thing. Is there the double standard for males and females in this in these type of situations? Is it a double standard? Hey, DeGante, thanks for the content. We're gonna run that. Oh, it's gonna be World War III in here. Hey kids, salute Mo Hill, saluted to you. Has there been any other RICO case besides R. Kelly and Diddy where only one person was charged for running a criminal enterprise by themselves? Nah, hell nah. I don't remember none. But I'm burnt out. If y'all do, please say so in the chat. Who in the feds is taking these cases? Call 211 all over the world. Oh, call 211. It's all over the world. Okay. I've been through it. It's hard to leave. No, Nina. Hey, listen, Nina. I didn't even speak on the emotional attachment. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm not gonna say that she said when they say that they can't get out. I don't believe that they can't get out. I believe that it's hard to get out. The emotional attachment, those that's economically dependent upon the male who is the provider in that relationship, the fear, sometimes they're threatened. So the comfortability when kids are involved. So there's a lot of things, even in a regular relationship, with breaking out without a domestic, that have to be separated. Bills, debt, and everything else that comes with two lives become one. Separating that is definitely hard. You know what I'm saying? And it could be embarrassing. You know, people always praying on y'all downfall. Oh, them motherfuckers think they doing it. This and this and this and that. They living a life. Punk ass niggas. That nigga be cheating on that bitch. They always in your business and all that. So what? We got it. We worked through it. Our love was strong enough to work through that. So then, once you done put up with that type of shit, or I done put up with that type of shit, and we pushing, and then here comes the physical abuse. Now it's hard because you know all of these people over here are gonna, I told you so. So that could be embarrassing. And a lot of people trying to keep up with the Jones. They want to paint this picture. Look at Instagram. It's everybody's highlights. None of their downside. Man, I got pictures on there while I'm in prison. not to brag about when I was in prison. That shit is embarrassing to me now. But so I remember where I was, and I recognize how much I evolved and where I'm at today. And so I could reanalyze and see where I want to be at tomorrow. A constant reminder of how I hated being on that side of the 430 count. So it's hard to leave. Salute to you, Renegade, and Nina, my daughter name, 100. But Cuz was going to have to kill me if he thought he was finna pimp me. Oh, he was trying to send her. And it hurts, but I've been gone for 5 years. Hey, Renegade, listen, I'm with you. I get it. I know it is. But once you got, I bet you feel stronger now. I bet you feel proud of yourself that you got away with your dignity. You stood on what you believe. You draw the line in the sand on what you wasn't going to accept. You can't be no anything ass motherfucker and accept just anything. People gonna walk over you all the time. Because some people, all they do is take. And then they disguise themselves as they care. But how much do you really care? And then what I learned in most relationships that tends to fuck up, a person who don't truly love themselves could never provide me the love that I desire. That what it ultimately boils down to. So finding someone who really cherishes life, who really cares about themselves, and it shows in their actions with positive energy, is like there's nothing like having that kind of peace around you, having that type of energy and vibe around you 24/7. So it definitely was worth it. I bet you that, Renegade Duchess and Nina, when you look back. And then it lets you know how strong you really is. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey Epstein, unalive, allegedly himself and his woman is in prison for what they did. Mountaineers, that progress. Y'all pray that thy kingdom come. Here it continues to Jesus. We are PUSSY. Nina and have me at Nina and have me piss mouth at Nina, laugh out loud. Y'all crazy, man. Renegade, hell nah. Renegade, thank you, dudes. Y'all thank me. Y'all the ones that stood up. Y'all the ones that stood y'all ground. And as much, I'm quite sure it wasn't at the first thing. It wasn't at the first sign of problem. But when it comes physical, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go. Better get up out my face. It's time to go. Laughing my ass off. I told him that many times. I guess he thought it was a threat because beating my ass only made me fight back. Renegade. Oh, here you go. Renegade, that shit. Y'all crazy. Hey, hold on. They talking about got the content. What they got? Hold on. Let me see what they got. Oh yeah, I seen that earlier, man. We ain't gonna run that right now. Ramon, you been dropping a lot of science today too, brother. Ramon Seifu, if a man do not have the discipline enough not to physically harm a woman, he don't need to be with them. Hey, bro, you're 100% right. Until that woman stab your ass or hit you with something to where you daze or something like that. Rest in peace to my homeboy Tiny Jimbo, NHB 20s. About a year ago, his mistress, not even his girl, his mistress, stabbed him in the chest while he was asleep, bro. So are you saying if he survived and he shouldn't fought her off for his life because she had a vagina? No. But outside of them being physically abusive, if a man doesn't have the discipline enough not to physically harm a woman, I'm 100% with you, bro. My mama taught my sisters a long time ago, and I taught them. And I thank God I haven't had that problem in my life with Shayna and Dana. unless they want me to go to jail, please do not ever put your hands on a nigga. They got a mouth. Dana don't really got a mouth, but Shayna got a mouth like a sailor, right? And women could be demeaning and all kind of shit, challenging men, but that still doesn't justify them putting their hand on it. But if I told them, if you put your hands on a man, expect the man to treat you like a man. And that's just how my mama taught my sisters. And that's how we grew up. And I told my sisters that, and I haven't had that problem, thank God, because I would have been in jail behind mine. And that's how I know my little sisters. Shout out Shane and Dana. Y'all know I love y'all to death. Nigga, go to war and up under a prison or to a graveyard defending and protecting them little girls. And they understand that. They know they brother. And they make sure they didn't do that because they didn't want to see me go to jail for life. But outside of a female putting their hands on a man, yeah, it's no justifiable reason. Stop looking for other people to make you happy. If you can't find happiness for yourself, you will never find happiness in nobody else. That's a fact, Degante. It's nobody else's responsibility for you but yours, man. They in the chat cooking. I was young, though, had his children, so I went through some ish. Hey, bro, not all of our threesomes also ended well. Some ended in argument. Some I look forward to, some I did. Hey, IE Streams, y'all on bullshit, man. Let me see what y'all talk about. Shout out Tiny Jam, Fruitown Brim. Yeah, shout out Tiny Jam, that's the homie. The G-Bob, 400 ends. Free Big U, salute. Laugh my ass off. I'm serious. The guy said I would never be no type of hoe ever. I told him he'd have to orphan our children if he thought that would fly. G-Bob 400 ends. Salute. Yeah, shout out to the homie Tiny Jam. Shout out to the homie Baby Jam, too. Salute to him. But look, we going to end this. Yeah, you with me? We finna take this one up out of here, man. Y'all a lot of technical difficulties. Well, we gonna go till tomorrow. Tap in. We got an interview tomorrow with the dude that was on.
Can you hear me, dudes?
Yeah. Take us
Good
out, y'all.
gracious, man.
No, matter of fact, I want to hear what you had to say first, because I'm quite sure you had something to
add. I'm 100% with you with the not putting your hands on a real woman, but I slapped the shit out of a bitch. Nah, but for real though. At the end of the day, from the beginning with Chris Brown and his assault with the tequila bottle on the producer, make sure you guys get your passports first off. And then when you get your passport, understand when you go to these other countries, read the laws. Make sure you understand their laws. Understand their laws, man. Don't want to get trapped and caught out there in a place where you're just oblivious and just blinded by whatever legality system that they got going on out there. Make sure you guys get privy to that information before you travel and that judge hit the gavel. Again, anybody who is in a situationship with a person that is abusive, there's always people out here to talk to. Make sure you reach out to those people and you will be helped. You can get help. There are alternative ways. Domestic violence is a very, very serious issue. Men getting thrown in prison, sometimes by the lies of women. And in this case, you see how P. Diddy is being thrown in jail with the, situations with Cassie. The freak offs, that's their own thing. That's their thing. I can care less about what they do in their bed. But once it start being promoted as a normality, that's when I got to be like, I got to start playing Guardian, because for people that got kids, the agendas are being pushed to make these unnaturals naturals, which is these unnormals the normality.
Yeah, they're trying to make the abnormal normal.
So everybody who is a parent that understands, it's not about sheltering your kid, it's about educating your kid. It's about giving them the understanding that everything everything is an expedient to indulge in, you know, especially when it's the popular crowd. So anything the popular crowd is promoting, make sure you guys are investigating that. And on top of that, I want to say this, man. I got sisters too, and I know how my sisters could be. And I will always tell them exactly what dudes tell them. Like, don't go out here using your mouth, putting your mouth on people that you know damn well your mouth is a sword. Your mouth is a weapon. And that doesn't justify for any man hitting a woman. No, I'm not saying that. But you know, provoking someone, it's equivalent, man. You don't want to provoke people because some people can't control their anger. So the best thing for you to do is not provoke them by using your mouth as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you got a woman out here that's doing that and they know exactly what you're doing, you know exactly what you're doing, and then things happen to you, the Most High even warns you. Warning comes before destruction. You got brothers, your real blood brothers telling you, hey, don't go out here, don't be out here disrespecting men, and don't be putting your hand on them. Don't do that. And you got some women, they know that they got brothers like Du Sims that'll go up to bat for them, and they'll utilize that to their advantage. So I hope and pray to the Most High that we don't have women like that in our chat. And if you do, this is a reflection. Go ahead and reflect yourself and change yourself, man. Change the ideology of what you do and change your approach to how you deal with men, and vice versa for the men that are abusive. It's not worth it, brothers. I've never been in a domestic case. I've never had domestics, and I'm going to keep it like that. You want to know why? Because the Kiwe pop star don't indulge in that. It's too many of the pickings for a nigga like me to get to tripping. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? But yeah, man, at the end of the day, man, we appreciate everybody that tapped into the Damu Kiwe conversation live today, man. Salute to everybody on Clubhouse. Salute to the goo. Salute to everybody on stage. Appreciate everybody who who shared 3 times. So in the hallway, we got that shine. Salute to the chat on YouTube Live. Y'all already know that's where it's at. And salute to the Blue Wrench Mob. And if you're a friend that tapped in for the first time, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this content. Guys, it's set to 2.5 hours with Deuce M's, the Don, and Yael, the Kiwe pop star. Brought y'all the receipts and the authentic voices of the culture and the West Coast. Damu Kiwe Conversations.